Hello and welcome to the Home Assistant Podcast. This is episode 58, and today we're talking about 0.101. So today we've got, as usual, Phil. Hey, Phil.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. And we've also got Stephan. Hey, Stephan.
G'day. How are you, mate?
Great, thanks. And if you couldn't tell with that, Stephan is from New Zealand, so welcome from all the way from New Zealand. Well, all the way for me. Not that far from Phil, so.
This episode is sponsored by Home Assistant Cloud by Nabukasa. Easily and securely access your local Home Assistant instance remotely for a small monthly fee that also supports the Home Assistant project. Configuration is via the user interface, so no fiddling with router settings, SSL certificates, or any YAML.
So just right off the bat, I mean, so we've got some State of the Union meetup. So if you haven't seen that yet, it's been pretty vocalized, I think. I think I saw it on Twitter. I've seen it on the front page of the Home Assistant site. So there is a State of the Union meetup happening. There was one a while ago, but if you can't meet up in Amsterdam at that State of the Union, there's a couple of other meetups happening in Germany. Where you can join others watching the live stream. So there's one in Berlin from 6 to 9 at, I guess that's local time there. And that's both PM. So 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. in Berlin. And there's also 6:30 to 9:30 p.m. In Grunstadt. So we'll post the links to those at the Home Assistant Podcast website. And hopefully you make it out there. Whereas locally, there'll be some local starting times, obviously, depending on where you are in the world. So that, I believe, will still be live streamed. So US East Coast would be about 12:30, so that's my time. And then on Wednesday, so 12:30 p.m., that is. West Coast would be 9:30, and so on and so forth. So you can, we'll post a link with a bunch of times, local times, and we'll also give you a link to a world clock in case you need that.
Yeah, so it's going to be 4:30 a.m. my time, so I will not be waking up, unfortunately, for that one. I will just wait for... I'll watch the afterplay when I get to the office. What, are you going to have a long lunch that day, Rohan, and watch the live stream?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. No, well, it's a Wednesday, so I may be at a customer. I don't really know where I'm going to be. So I'll definitely try and catch it. And again, that's on November 13th, in case I missed that part.
Yeah, or the 14th if you're far in the future, like me and Stephan.
That's right.
That must, if it's 4 o'clock for you, it must be about 6:30 for me.
Yeah, 6:30 a.m. Auckland time, so good luck with that.
Yeah. Whew.
Yeah, you might be able to make it. Depends on what time you wake up, right? So
4 o'clock.
Well, there you go. You're great.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah.
Skip work, listen to it,
Something that's a little bit off topic for Home Assistant, but I thought worth mentioning. We had Isabella on a while ago, episode 25, so a long time ago now, but she introduced us to the Switchbot, and I've actually got a couple of Switchbots now. They are little robot things that basically just push a switch on and off. Switchbot, the company, launched a new product, and it's on Kickstarter at the moment. It's called the Switchbot Curtain. And I thought it was something that, just something to put out there. If you're looking, because I know blind controls can be pretty expensive and there's so many options now. I know IKEA have just put out their smart blinds. This little retrofit from Switchbot is a little robot that you attach to your curtain rail, and it will open and it'll basically push the curtains opened or closed. So it's really cool. It's actually it's a unique design that I've first seen, and I know the company's good because I've got their products and I support them. They actually also mention, and they're very developer friendly, which I think is important, especially for people that want open cloudless stuff like Home Assistant users. Switchbot have actually also mentioned that they're fully supporting Home Assistant, and their API is open for makers and developers, and they mention that on their Kickstarter as well.
Yeah, it's interesting. So I did see this one, and they actually straight up call out a Home Assistant.
Yeah.
As a workable platform for this. So.
Yes, so really cool, right?
Mm-hmm. It's been they've been kind of spamming my Instagram and all that stuff.
Oh, you've
lately,
seen it too?
so
Good. Yeah,
I've seen it myself, and then I saw somebody post it on Reddit or something like that somewhere.
Yeah,
and I was like, oh, that's interesting. Okay, and then I put 2 and 2 together. So I checked it out. It does. You're totally right. It's actually really cool. It looks like it just snaps on and snaps onto your curtain rail, and that's it. So I don't know a whole lot about the product, and Phil and I aren't getting paid to say this, so
no, not at all.
Unless you are Phil, in which case I want to cut. And but outside of that,
I'll take a free one.
Yeah, there we go. I'll just take one of these. You're right. I don't necessarily need money. I'll take the Switchbot curtain. So no, but I mean, it seems really cool. I mean, I think the nerd in me is like, hey, this is neat. I want one, and several.
Yeah, totally. So now it is a Kickstarter project. So I'm off Kickstarter. I've been burned too many times. I'm actually still waiting 3-4 years now for another blind controller from Indiegogo that's just not shipping. So I completely understand if you are not interested in a Kickstarter. However, if you're willing to take a gamble, I guess, the Switchbot is available on Kickstarter. They're trying to get a stretch goal at the moment. I think they got fully 100% of their goal was done in 12 minutes of launching the Switchbot curtain, which is awesome. So congratulations to them. We'll leave a link to the Kickstarter. They are shipping in August 2020. So you won't get it tomorrow. But it may be a good project if you got some blinds and you're in two minds about how you want to automate them. It might be a little thing to put on the radar in a year's time.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking at their Kickstarter right now. Yeah, so it's about $70 US for one of them. So has schedules, got all that stuff. So it's kind of cool.
Yeah, and I know the current Switchbots are all Bluetooth Open API. So I have some Raspberry Pis just hanging around that can communicate with them over MQTT, and then Home Assistant just has them as a switch. So I'm assuming something similar for the curtain. Just send a Bluetooth message or whatever protocol it's using, and open and close it. So yeah.
Oh, this is cool. Apparently it's got a sunlight sensor in it too.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, so you can basically say it's too bright, too dark. Based on that, it can open. Oh, man, okay, I really want this now.
I like that little thermostat. Just to change the subject, I like that little thermostat display. Switchbot with thermostat and hydrometer.
Oh, that's cool. That must be on their site. Yeah, I'm on their Kickstarter. But yeah, this is cool because it's super simple too. So this is
great for renters
cool
as well, because you don't have to change blinds.
Yeah,
you can literally just retrofit it onto the rail. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and it works with different types of. This is neat. Hey, Switchbot, if you're listening, for the shout out, I will take a couple of these.
I'll take one.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So, but yeah, no, a great shout out, Phil. I think that's kind of cool. So
yeah, and I'm glad that they're highlighting, that they're open to makers and people that want to do it themselves and stay away from the cloud. So yeah, totally. Good luck to them.
Totally. But now on to 0.101. So again, still not at 1.0. So for those of you wondering who missed the last episode, there are going past 0.99 to 0.100. So let's talk about what's new in here. So there's integration with Airly now, which basically shows air quality data in Poland, Germany, and the UK. So if you live in one of those countries, great. You can now have air quality data using Airly if you so choose.
It's cool. You can find out whether or not you should keep the windows open or closed, I guess.
That's right.
One that's really cool in this release, it's called Apprise. So Apprise. It's a notification platform for Home Assistant, but I sort of think of it as a Home Assistant, makes everything agnostic. So, if you want to talk to a Z-Wave light and a Zigbee light, you can use Home Assistant to bring them together. Well, on the same sort of thinking, Apprise does that, but for notifications. So by enabling an Apprise notification platform, it automatically makes things like talking to Telegram, Discord, Slack, and Rohan, you'll be interested in this, Cisco WebEx.
Yeah, WebEx Teams.
Yeah, under the one notification platform. So really cool. So if you're interested in maybe using this as a way to communicate with different maybe people in your home or on different apps, you can now just activate one notification platform and let it do its logic to communicate out to that service.
Well, so it's kind of nice because it kind of removes the dependency on Home Assistant, right?
Yes,
but
yes.
At the same time, I think most of these are actually on Home Assistant natively. So
yes,
if there's some stuff that let's say for whatever reason you want to have one single point of hey, I want to punt a notification this way, and maybe you use Telegram, your partner uses Slack, somebody else, your kids use WebEx Teams, whatever. I don't know, I'm just making stuff up. But if that's the case and you want to send it out to everybody, I mean, there's two ways to do it. You can have a group in Home Assistant, or you can use AppRise. So I can see why. I'm not sure if it's AppRise or Apprise, but whichever it is. I definitely see the value of it. I just, if you've already got your stuff set up, then maybe there's not as much value. But if not, then that might be kind of interesting.
I'm always in two minds about these things. Like, on the one hand, it's another point of failure, right? If this if this integration goes down, that's something that the link that's missing. But then also, I like that there's another option as well. Like, it sort of, and for me, using multiple versions of Home Assistant, like running multiple instances of Home Assistant, I've only got to, if I change my ID somewhere, I've only got to change like a prize in one location and all instances of Home Assistant are updated straight away.
Yes.
Whereas if everything's native, I've got to go in and I've got to update, all the instances of Home Assistant to point to those notification IDs being changed.
Totally. And that's so valid. So, but I mean, but with that said, I could also say if I change my, if I change my API key or password or what have you in this platform now, I have to change it across my multiple things. But yeah, you're totally right. If you have, let's say, for example, if you use the same password across multiple services, which you really should not, but let's say you do for whatever reason, and fine, and then let's say that identity gets compromised, you can, to your point, Phil, you can change it all in this one place and then go from there. So also there's solar log integration. So if you have a solar power inverter, which is compatible with solar log, you can now bring that data into Home Assistant. So once it's connected, then at that point can now report things like power consumption and yield from all of the inverters that you've got. So it's kind of nice. It's good use of Home Assistant as a data collection platform as well. So.
I'd love to see people, and they're going all out with those Grafana dashboards with all this data. Like, that would look sexy as.
Yeah, I like the solar panel one, that the Lovelace integration, that solar panel one they built, the triangle.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's quite sexy. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree. I don't have any solar panels. I would love some, but I don't have any. But it's interesting. So somebody, I know we're definitely getting off topic here, but that's the point of this show.
That's what we do.
Yeah. But I don't know if you guys have this rule or anything, and I don't know how popular solar panels are where you guys are, but in Australia and New Zealand. But for here, somebody told me, and I have no idea if this is true or not, but I don't know if it's in Canada or in Ontario or in just the Greater Toronto area. But somebody told me that if you have solar panels and let's say your house catches on fire, the fire department will let your house burn down, because at that point it's a risk for them to go in and shut off the solar panel because they may get severely injured or what have you.
Wow.
It makes sense. I don't know how it literally. We were interviewing some guy and something he was working on was around that. And he was telling me, and I was like, "Wow, I did not know that."
That's interesting. I actually haven't heard of that. That's
no, neither have I. I have to go ask a couple of mates. They've got houses. So I have to go ask them.
I'm sure it wouldn't be too difficult to put some kind of a cutoff switch or something to say, "Hey, great, kill it," and then at that point, that does whatever. But not that I can afford to get solar panel at this point, but if and when I can, that may or may not hold me back, because at that point it's like, how much do I really value a firefighter being able to put out a fire?
Is it just new technology and they're just a bit scared to go there?
Yeah, and this might be something ancient too, right? So I don't know.
Yeah, like part of me is thinking this is an old wives' tale, right? Like it's something that someone said in a bar somewhere, and it's sort of just caught on, and it's a rumor more or a myth sort of thing.
It could be,
because surely there would have to be so much safety in that. I know here, like if you're pumping out too much. If your solar panels are pumping out too much electricity into the inverter will just shut off and say, hang on, you're giving me too much electricity, I can't handle this, like I've got a safety shut off, right? Like I don't want to burn myself out.
Yeah.
So surely there would have to be some sort of safety in that, if, and similar to like a surge protector in your home, or a safety switch. If you stick a knife in a wall socket, don't do it, just in case you don't have a safety switch installed.
Please
But,
don't.
there is things. Yeah, the system is designed to detect that and shut off the electricity immediately before any damage can be done. So surely there would have to be some, there's got to be the technology in those systems to be able to detect those sort of things.
Yeah.
I've also heard that if the power goes off on the street side, the solar panels will go off.
That's interesting.
I don't,
'cause you don't want to.
How does that work?
Well, no, because I think what they're saying is that, because if the solar power can feed the grid, what they're saying is that if the grid is turned off, the solar panel will actually stop feeding the grid, so the guys working on the power the linesmen don't get electrocuted.
Yeah, of course.
Right. Instead of you mean it'll get diverted to your battery bank rather than.
Yeah.
Right. Sorry, I thought you meant it just stops producing power. I was like, what? Okay, yeah. So no, that makes more sense. Yeah, I could see that. I mean, that makes perfect sense from a safety perspective, right? In terms of
Back on topic subject.
Yeah. But I digress.
Don't we all?
That's right.
All right, so back to more features that are in 0.101. Two new notification platforms. So first is the Cinch SMS notifications. So if you would like to receive SMS notifications, you can use the Cinch service and their API to send you some SMS notifications. And finally is the Microsoft Teams. So if you're one of the 3 people using Microsoft Teams, or maybe you're in a corporate environment, you can now integrate your Home Assistant instance, and it can message a notification to one of those team channels as well.
Nice. Yeah, more platforms, which is great.
That's all right.
Some breaking changes this time around. So API password. So this is probably one of the biggest breaking changes for this release. Before we had usernames and passwords, there was API password. So you just had one single password, no usernames, no separate accounts, none of that stuff. And they just, to not break stuff, the developers decided, hey, we're going to keep this for a little while, just moving forward in case you want to do it. It's very bad practice to use this, and you really shouldn't. But as of 101, they have actually disabled requests to the API or the front end, which has the API password in the URL. So let's say, for example, the URL has, whatever, 192.168, whatever IP address or host name you've given it, !API_password equals blah, blah, blah. That will not be valid anymore.
I know your password now.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Blah, blah, blah. Additionally, so if you have the concept, there was also the concept of trusted networks, which has been removed, which is really funny, because I actually saw a post, I think yesterday, where somebody was just like, just use trusted networks. So if you did that, sorry, you put that effort in for not. So basically, so that means if you come in from a specific network address range, so it might be one IP or wherever address range you put in, essentially you would not be asked to log in anymore. So I believe they assumed whatever admin user, and based on that, you just have straight up access to Home Assistant. Also, so now that's also gone. So that one I feel like would affect more people than the API password. I think the API password, they've been kind of talking about removing that for a while. There's been warnings to say, hey, please don't use this. I believe if you use it, it actually shows up in your error log saying, hey, this is going to be deprecated soon. So hopefully people have caught that somehow and gotten rid of it. So I suspect that's going to be a smaller percentage of the population compared to the trusted networks. So if you use either of those, please keep in mind that will no longer be supported. So from essentially what that results in is from 0.101, you need to update your config if you still use that legacy password. And in the past, that was in the HTTP component, and now in the YAML file, now you can actually set up a proper password through the auth provider in your YAML file. The features have kind of been deprecated for a while now, but they are properly getting dropped as of 0.101. So if you use that feature or either of those features, just please keep that in mind, and it will error out.
So I think this is moving towards the concept that everything in Home Assistant needs an authenticated user. So previously, with the trusted networks, you could make any call that you wanted, and you didn't have to identify yourself to Home Assistant. Now, what we're pushing for is that every call to Home Assistant needs some form of, identity behind it. Who is authorized? Like, who's doing this? Is it because you've got an API password, or is it because you've got a user access token? Just for more traceability and for more security, because the last thing you want is a bad actor getting into your network somehow, either through a compromised IoT gadget or something, and then discovering that Home Assistant is on your network, and then being able to make any call it likes to Home Assistant, and being able to use that system to pivot onto your Home Assistant instance and then take control of your smart home.
That's right. So it's important to mention too. So if you do have anything that does leverage that API passwords, let's say you have some custom scripts, things like that you're using the API for, in your profile there is a concept of a long-lived access token. Which is basically the new version of this API password. And so you can create those tokens, and they'll be valid for 10 years. So that way, if you actually build an application around Home Assistant, that's something, let's say something that consumes Home Assistant, you can utilize that.
Onto some more, this one's more of a warning. Python 3.6 support has now been deprecated, and it seems just yesterday we were dropping 3.5, but 3.6 has now been deprecated because Python 3.8 is now available. So that was released on the 14th of October. So nothing really is changing from this release, but in future versions, things will start. If you're using Python 3.6, they will start to be dropped off. So it's probably time to start planning your upgrade to at least 3.7, but I'll just try and upgrade to 3.8 as soon as you can. Yeah,
and if you use Docker or Has.io, which uses Docker on other covers, you don't really need to worry about this. It's kind of all handled for you, since that's part of the actual Docker container inside of it. So when the Home Assistant team compiles that Docker container, they'll use whatever versions are supported. So even when 3.5 got deprecated, now 3.6 is going to be deprecated. You don't really need to worry too much about it. So there you go. Roku's. So if you have a Roku TV now, the power off state is actually changing a little bit. Roku TVs will now say that they're on standby instead of off. So if you have an automation that says, hey, if your Roku TV is off, then blah, 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 that will break. You need to change off to standby. And that is as of 0.101 as well.
And I think another one that's going to affect you in your Ecobee, Rohan, is there's a new turn on service. So previously you could call the climate turn on, and it would cause the Ecobee thermostat to turn on in heat mode, regardless of the mode when the thermostat was turned off. Moving forward, it will now turn the thermostat back on to the last active mode that it was in.
Right.
For example, heat, cool, or auto. If you turn the thermostat on or off, and before Home Assistant restarted and Home Assistant doesn't know what its previous state was, it will default back to an auto mode. So I think that's going to be more user-friendly to everyone.
That is awesome.
Especially in summer.
Yeah. No, that's huge. MQTT JSON lights can now support, can now specify floating point numbers. So it's going to take a second to explain this. So this is a breaking change still. But so what happens is in previous versions of Home Assistant, if you make a call to a JSON-based MQTT light with a transition set, what happens is that would be converted to a round number. So if you had something like 2.5 seconds, that means it converts it to 2 seconds. So it always rounds it. So now from 0.101, it'll actually send these transition times as floating point numbers, which basically means you can do 2.5 seconds or so on and so forth. Yeah, that's it. That's the breaking change.
It's really cool. I do like that you can specify, half a second. It may not seem like much, but it can, when you're doing these transitions, 2 seconds might be too fast, 3 seconds might be too slow. But now being able to do any, half, quarter, 3/4 can really make a difference. So that's cool to see.
Yeah, for sure.
And if you're using one of the Atlassian chat services, either HipChat or Stride, they've actually been brought out by Slack, I believe. So because those notification platforms are being discontinued, those components in Home Assistant are being removed as of 0101. So you will need to remove those from your configuration if you are still using those.
Yeah, I think HipChat. Yeah, HipChat got bought by Atlassian, which is the company that makes Bitbucket, Jira, and all that stuff. And yeah, so they partnered with Slack. It sounds like. But yeah, I mean,
yeah, because HipChat was owned by Atlassian, and then they came out with Stride, which was going to be their replacement for HipChat. And then I think everything just got bought out by Slack.
Yeah, and I mean, it makes sense to remove it from these platforms. Just if it doesn't exist, why bloat the software, right? So
yeah.
Some other noteworthy updates. So there's an addition of 4 condition support on binary sensors, lights, and switches. So what that means is basically you can have conditions in your YAML which will apply when something like a binary sensor has been in a state for a period of time. So, hey, if my motion sensor has been on for 10 seconds, blah, 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 do so on and so forth.
You know what's funny? I actually use these a lot in triggers. Mm-hmm. So, for example, if my entry door has been open for more than 5 minutes, maybe, take an action or turn off a light or something.
Yeah.
I also have these in conditions. I didn't realize they never worked. I just assumed I was doing something wrong, which is sort of like a light bulb moment to me. I'm like, that's why that never worked. It was never supported.
This makes so much more sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
And been there, done that. And of course it doesn't error, so you don't know it's not working.
Exactly.
You're always relying on the error.
Yep, that's exactly it.
Please brake. No, it's not braking. What have I done wrong?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah. So Stephan, let's talk about you for a couple of minutes.
I started home automation in 1999.
Wow.
And
nice.
It cost me probably about $90.
Don't think about how much it cost. Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. $90 to get the computer to turn one light off.
Ooh.
Yep.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. Then I found because I'm a Microsoft person, so VB scripting is my forte.
Mm-hmm.
Found Home Assistant, Homeseer.
Yep.
Found Homeseer. Bought a license for that. Did that for probably 4 or 5 years, and kids got in the way, so home automation got put on the back burner for about. I started for a while. Still had all my, because I had all X10 stuff. I was
going to say 99, you would have been, the X10 sort of generation.
Yes. And it took me ages to work out why could I only control half my house? Because my house was in 2 phases, and X10 wouldn't jump across to the other phase. It took me ages to work out why does this plug work on this side of the house but not on this side of the house.
Yeah.
But then I found I actually found OpenHab first, so I did that. I found that probably 3-4 years ago and used that. Hated their scripting.
That's what I've found that a lot too.
It was a cross between Java, some other own guys written logic, and I just could not get my head around it.
It's funny because I think Home Assistant gets a lot of a bad rap for everything being in YAML, and then I look at I then look at OpenHab and I think, what's easier, YAML for like someone that's never done coding before, or Java? And I think, Home Assistant gets a lot of bad rap for using YAML and all that, but I think, it's definitely not the worst out there.
No, it took me probably to get YAML, took me 2-3 months, and it was a headache. Like, you just, that spaces, getting your head around.
Yes.
Double space. Once you get that into your head, then the light sort of half comes on. And, it was cool. And then I started learning Python because I run Kodi as well.
Okay.
And I wanted to write my own little Cody plugin. So that was all in Python. So I started learning Python. Then I found Home Assistant, and I go, oh yeah, this is Python. Oh, I could join these two together, and yeah. And as of 2:00 yesterday this morning, I finally finished my first Python script, which was really cool. I'm really happy.
Nice. So how are you
That's awesome.
executing that Python script in Home Assistant?
Through an automation at midnight.
Okay, so there's because I know Home Assistant has a concept that you can fire a Python script from an automation directly, so you're just using that, I'm guessing.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, perfect.
Yep. Well, actually, the Python script creates a object. It creates an object, and so the Python script at midnight just creates the object or updates the object every 12 hours, and it's just to work out my shift pattern because I do 4 on, 4 off, so I do 2 days, 2 nights, and then 4 days off. And so I wanted to build a sensor to know when I'm on and off.
Okay.
Would there be any benefit to using a Google Calendar integration and just putting your work hours in a Google Calendar?
Thought about that, but no, it's just, that means I have to go fill out the Google Calendar. The way I've done it, I've actually written it on maths. So the maths is, I just put my first shift pattern, day one of my first shift.
Yeah.
And from that, it can work out what shift I'm on. And that first day shift could have been a year ago. It will still mathematically work it out.
Okay, nice.
So it's all on maths. So it's all maths.
Yep.
Okay.
I guess that reduces a cloud dependency then. You don't have to have internet access to read Google
exactly.
Calendar.
I hate cloud. I've got nothing. Everything, all my switches I've got of Tasmoderized. That best software ever invented, I think.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool.
I don't really use a lot of my house is a more smarter house,
right?
Clever house. Like I don't have touch screens or anything like that. My house reacts with me.
Yep.
So do the washing. We do the washing machine. If we do a load of washing during the day, we've got a hot water cupboard which has got a little bar heater on it because we took the hot water out, so it's still a hot water cupboard, but it's got a little bar heater on it.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So if we do a load of washing today, it turns the thermostat up to 30 degrees and heats the cupboard up for us. And then 12 hours later, it turns it off because we don't need the heating going on anymore. If I open up the hot water cupboard, it turns the switch off, turns the heater off. So if it's on, it turns it off. So it's sort of like, and then when you close, and if you don't close it, the heater doesn't come back on. So then you close it again, it turns itself back on. And then one night I was going, this was cool. I quite like this idea. Open the cupboard door. Oh, it's dark in the hall. How about when I open the cupboard door, turn the hall lights on? So now you open the cupboard, hot water cupboard.
Right.
Hall lights come on, close it, and hall lights went off straight away. Oh, hang on, have to wait. So wait 3 more seconds. So it now waits 3 seconds before it turns the lights off. So just little things like that.
Yeah, because I've done something similar for my washing machine. So my washing machine is in the spare bathroom. So if you open the door to the washing machine to take a load out of washing and the lights aren't on, it'll turn the lights on for you because obviously you're in the bathroom now. So
that's the smarts I like. That's the smarts I like doing to my house.
Definitely.
My other one is drive down the driveway and the garage door opens. That's a cool one. That really freaks out people.
Do you have anything to verify who's coming down the driveway so that only your car opens the driveway up? Or?
Well, no, because I've got a little Wemos. Wemo? Yeah, Wemos? Wemo?
Yep.
Yeah, Wemo.
Yeah, I've got one of those, and so as soon as that joins the network, Home Assistant sees, that's just joined the network. And the garage door is closed, I'm going to open the garage door. And if it's night time, I'm going to turn on the garage lights for 10 minutes.
Right. Do you have any protections in place in case it joins, 3 a.m. in the morning while you're asleep for whatever reason? Maybe the network reset itself?
No, because it's worked on my car. It's just as soon as it's with the car. So as soon as I turn the car on, so it's all controlled by the car battery. So when I'm in the car and the car's going, last couple of weeks I've played with Volmio, so I've just got all that going, and I've actually got that all integrated into Home Assistant as well now. So that was a cool buzz.
Okay.
And I've got the HA plate, the HAS plate touch screen, little 3.5-inch touch screen.
Oh yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I did that. I think I was probably one of the 10th person to build one. And Yeah, and I've got that hooked up to my MediaNet to Volio. So when a song's playing on my jukebox, it changes that screen, shows the title of the song that's playing, the volume control on the little touch screen. So yeah, so my house is more. Yeah, I haven't got really. That's probably about the only touch screen I've got, but most of my house reacts with me like sitting down watching TV, and if I'm watching TV and the lounge is below 22 degrees, it will fire my gas heater on, and it will control my gas heater for me.
Yeah.
And when I turn the TV off, the gas heater goes off, and go to bed.
Well, that's great. So so to me, so those are my favorite kind of automations, right? Because to me, an automation should be exactly that. It should be automated. If I'm integrating, or if I'm doing something to actually trigger that automation manually, then that's not auto, at least in my mind, right? It's exactly what you're saying. It should react to you and kind of your actions. Hey, I do this, great. It's going to trigger a whole bunch of other things based on.
Yeah, like I've got a bed sensor, so when I jump into bed, it knows because the wife and I we go side lamps. Mm-hmm. So when I turn the TV off, if the wife's gone to bed first, it would only turn on my side lamp, and vice versa.
Right.
If I go to bed first and the wife turns the TV off, it only turns on her side.
Yeah.
So it's
which makes sense.
Yeah, to me, it's like, I mean, I hate it. You're seeing watching all these YouTube channels. Everybody pulls out a smartphone to turn the light off. I mean, it's like all you're doing is putting the switch from the wall to your pocket.
Yeah. It's interesting because for me, to do stuff like that, there's certain things just because a lot of times I don't really, it's weird. I don't have a standard routine, right? Or I may not be home or whatever. So for turning off all that stuff, I use voice. So I use my Amazon Echo.
Cool.
And I'll just say, hey, good night. And then whereas what happens is sometimes I might be in the basement working or something like that. And my girlfriend will decide, all right, well, she's going to bed. So she'll just say good night and all the lights will turn off. And I'm like, really? So, and
haven't worked out the logic for that one yet.
No, I mean, really, if I cared enough, I would do kind of room level presence and be like, okay, both of us are here, or only one of us is there, whatever, and then based on that, do whatever. But
that room presence, that's so hard. Bluetooth ain't quite good enough. The infrared motion sensors, they seem to not be good enough. I mean, I've gone down those avenues, and I'm just so I'm looking at logic, like my TV. So if we're watching TV, we turn the TV off, that means we're going to bed. So it's sort of like that's probably my presence in my house. So if we're not home, we've gone out for dinner, the gas heater doesn't come on because we ain't watching TV.
Yep.
So
which makes sense.
That's my present detection.
I think I'm very much the same. So in my office, I have a smart switch connected to my monitor. So if my monitor is on, then I'm using the computer and the office lights won't turn off, because I could be sitting at my computer, typing away, and the lights just would turn off because I'm not making enough movement for the motion sensors to detect me anymore. Exactly. Same thing with the TV, right? You don't want to be sitting on the couch enjoying a nice horror movie and then all of a sudden the lights go off in the middle of it, right? So I think,
I mean, at that point, that's, to me, that just adds reality.
Exactly, right? So I think, for room presence, you need a lot of information about what's going on in the house.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely. And I've gone down and the only way I can think of it is just by using switches, physical switches. Like I've got a bed sensor, which was just a security mat from Amazon, and I just wired that into like a little security mat that goes under the mat, and it had a doorbell. Yep. Yeah, I think they use it in nursing homes for putting in the bed outside, so when the old people walk out. Yeah, so I just put it under the mattress, and it works perfectly.
That's awesome.
And I just got that, connected
Amazon.
to a Sonoff.
Huh.
Yeah, I've got that.
Wow. Okay.
That's kind of interesting, actually. Yeah. I mean, I know there's a lot of people that buy like the couple $100
bed weight
sensor. Yeah, and it measures all this
Smart
stuff.
mattress.
I don't know. Personally, I found so I actually ended up so I did buy one. I forget which one it was. This was a few years ago, and I bought one and I put it under the sheets or whatever because it doesn't go under the mattress; it goes under the sheet. And I noticed like it was still very thin, but I still noticed that there was a pad there, and I don't know, just in I just couldn't get over it.
Princess and the Pete right here.
Yeah, so like it wasn't like poking me or it wasn't doing any of that. It was just it was there, and I knew it was there. So I was, instead of focusing on sleeping, I'm focusing on the fact that it's there.
Yep.
So I don't know. I just found that was too not intrusive, like not intrusive from like a privacy perspective, just intrusive in the sense that I'm thinking about it, right? Like
it makes
so
sense.
yeah. So I don't know if you have that kind of an experience, Stephan, like in terms of.
I'll paste you the link.
Yeah.
So you can have a look at it.
Yeah. Well, that's great. Well, we can put that on the show notes as well.
Yeah, for sure.
If anybody's interested in building it yourself.
Yeah. So I literally just cut that alarm off, and I just connect it to a Sonoff Basic. One's connected to the RX, and one's connected to the TX of the Sonoff
Interesting.
Basic.
So on this then, does this go under your
mattress.
sheets or does it go under your mattress itself?
Under the mattress.
Oh, see, I like that.
Yeah.
Because to me, that is because now it's not intrusive anymore because I still get my mattress.
Don't worry, it took me about 2 weeks to try and get it in the right place. Because if you have it too low, too high, it's that we got to fight. It's the playing around trying to get it in the right place. That's the bit that took me ages.
And what about the mattress? Is that heavy enough to constantly alarm it, or can you set a variable?
No, it hasn't.
Well, that's what I was wondering.
It hasn't because it goes under a normal length. They normally put them under normal rugs, so it goes under a rug.
Okay.
Yep.
So it's meant to be weighted and then add. So I guess it checks the delta in the weight, not the weight itself.
I presume so. Yeah, it must do. But yeah, it took me a while because at one stage I had it too far in the middle of the bed,
right?
Because and then when the wife lied on it, both sides were going off. So it was just trying to find that balance. That's the bit that took me probably a couple of weeks to find the sweet spot. Just a little bit of movement every day just to get it right. Because you don't want it when you're sitting on the side of the bed either. So when you're sitting on the side of the bed, getting dressed.
Oh, I like that. I like this. And it's actually
$25 US isn't bad.
$25 US.
I know. It's just brilliant. Yeah. It's a brilliant. I mean, it was just, I don't know, I saw it somewhere and I thought, oh yeah. So I got it, wired a sign off into it. So it's now connected, and that's how it connects it to the Home Assistant.
So you cut off the chime. So this is, again, because it's a pressure mat alarm, right? Just so everyone's aware. So you cut off the alarm part,
and just wired that to the one to ground, one to RX, and the other one to ground, and the other one to TX of the little Sonoff Basic.
And is the Sonoff plugged into mains power, or is it battery power?
Yes, it is. No, battery. Nice. And that's the other good thing, because it's plugged into mains.
Yep.
Yeah, the Sonoff itself is, I just don't use the relay on the Sonoff at all. It doesn't, it just sits there and does nothing. So it's just really all it's doing is just reading the bed, the two mats.
That's very cool.
That's all it's doing, yeah. Yeah, and so a Sonoff, what's a Sonoff worth? $5-6. So, literally for $60, bed sensor.
And
that's
now
awesome.
You're free to upgrade your mattress to whatever you want in the future, and it'll still work.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
You mentioned before that you have, your house is reactive, but do you use anything like voice or your phone or anything for any situations where you'd have to need an override? For example, if the automation hasn't kicked in?
Nope. Mine's plus everything's all switches. All my switches are all the manual, because all my switches have got Sonoffs behind them.
Okay.
And so they're all manual, so they will work when the power's off, or not when the power's off, when Home Assistant's down.
Yeah,
it still works. I gave up on the Pi. I got a real PC. I use a real PC.
Yeah.
I just gave up.
Nice.
I gave up. I burnt too many SD cards.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people starting off with the Pi, they will see a lot of...
Oh, it was cool. I think people got to realise, yes, do the Pi, but within 6 months you should be, seriously, if you want to do this home automation, just put it straight on PC. And like I picked up a little HP 820 Elite. Cost me $80 off Trade Me.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Nice.
And
Great.
it's 2 gig of RAM, and I've actually just upgraded it to 8 gig. So I've just put 8 gig in it. And man, it flies. I've never seen Home Assistant work so fast.
Oh, that's awesome.
Well, even just the restart. Well, when you do a restart, boot takes longer, but when you do a restart, like I was noticing last night, building this new Python script, I test directly in the environment. So it's a couple of line changes. Yep, that's right. Then put it live, restart Home Assistant, and like within 15 seconds, 20 seconds, I could see, spelling mistake, bugger.
Yeah.
So I've been doing, and I probably spend on my days off, probably spend 4 or 5 hours a day inside Home Assistant, learning, forum, helping out people on the forum. Love doing the helping out in the forum.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. Thank you. Like on behalf of the community, that's fantastic.
Yeah. Just that people gotta get used to my dyslexia.
That's okay.
Yeah. Don't ask me to write to document anything. I can't do it for myself, but give me some code to write, and I'll work out the logic for the code.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Now I've just started doing Zigbee. Yeah, I've been playing around with Zigbee. I've got the Zigbee Cube, and got 2 lights and 1 switch. So quite cool.
You've got to get onto the awesome Xiaomi Zigbee stuff. It's cheap and awesome. Like lots of door sensors, the wireless switches.
Yeah. It took a while for
that's awesome.
It is, yeah. I mean, my little door switch I've got sitting on my desk here, it sort of got it, and it would not play nice, and it just kept dropping its signal.
Yeah.
And the latest update they did fix that problem, so that was really nice. So now it's sort of like just about got 100% confidence of putting it to a door now, not sitting on my desk.
Actually, to go off a bit topic for a sec, Rohan, we were talking in the week that you were having some trouble with your Zigbee and you were not pleased. Have you managed to fix your Zigbee problems? I
have not. No. So it's the weirdest thing. So it's the radio itself, I think, works okay.
Yep.
So I use a Conbee 2 stick.
Same here.
Yeah, in a Raspberry Pi. So the Raspberry Pi is literally just dedicated to being a Zigbee node. I talked about it in one of the earlier episodes, but it works great, all that stuff. So I was actually using HazOS on it, and HazOS crashed.
Oh no.
I think we had some power. I don't know. I guess it went on, off, something like that.
Or something.
Yeah, something weird happened, and basically I came home and nothing's working, and I was like, "Oh crap, okay." And so I plug in the monitor to the Raspberry Pi and everything, and I'm like, "Oh, okay." And it's just cycling through. The Docker container's not coming up. So the OS itself booted up, but then nothing else was really coming up. So I was like, okay, this is weird. So I'm trying everything and nothing's working. So I was like, okay. So I pulled out the SD card, and I said, okay, you know what? I have an extra SD card. So I took that second SD card. I put Ubuntu 1804 on it, and I said, okay, you know what? I'm gonna build this from scratch, and just went on Home Assistant's GitHub page. They have the builder there, and built it out in Ubuntu. It's basically just make sure you meet the dependencies and run the script. It's pretty straightforward, actually, and which I thought was great. And then then I said, okay, fine, let me try to rebuild this. And I'm trying to scan and everything, and it's not picking up. It picked up one of a motion sensor that I have that's ancient, and I was like, okay, great. And then I have some water leak detectors. I have some other motion sensors. I have door open close sensors, all this stuff. And for whatever reason, my devices just are not resetting.
Okay, so try this trick. Yeah, I got a trick for you. When you got the button to pair it, you put it into pair mode.
Yeah.
What I do is I do that, but then I actually activate the sensor. So
okay.
Does it make sense?
Yeah, like so if it's a motion sensor, like wave in front of where the So I thought I tried that. So
because that's what I found with a couple of my switches, they actually weren't joining the network. Couldn't find them. I was going, why? I'm pressing the reset button, pressing the pair button, put it into pairing mode. But then I found, as soon as I push the actual switch, the software goes, found it. I go, oh, cool. Okay, then, cool, thank you. So that was with the two switches and my little magnetic door sensor. I found in that, so my trick now is I put into pairing mode, wait about 5-6 seconds, and then activate the switch. Activate it by pressing the switch, closing the magnet, or motion, and it just seems to pair quicker.
Well, it's interesting because I actually tried resetting it. So I've actually got one of my motion sensors actually sitting right next to me. That's in kind of disassembled, so I can get to the reset button easily. I did that, and so I'm using SmartThings Zigbee motion sensors, right? So yeah, they were on sale, whatever. I'm like, great, picked it up. It worked great until HazOS died. Yeah, so I'm trying to reset it. I'm looking at the instructions. I look up, on like 10 different forums on whatever, and everything says, yep, just press and hold the thing for 5. Press and hold the button with like with a pin or something. So I have a little thumbtack I'm using just to press and hold it. I held it for, I think at one point, I counted about 35 seconds and nothing. Like it's supposed to start blinking red or some of that, nothing, right? And I'm just like, okay, so.
Have you tried the basics like new batteries and?
Well, so I actually ordered new batteries. So I'm hopefully getting those tomorrow.
Okay.
And naturally they're not any kind of, useful batteries. They're CR2 batteries, right? So it's not like a button cell or something handy.
Yeah. Another trick would be have you got a Philips dimmer switch?
A Philips dimmer switch? No, I don't.
Because that's what I found with one of my switches. I actually had to press the on and the off together on the dimmer switch about 5 millimeters away from the switch, and it actually put it into pairing mode.
Interesting.
Because that's how you do your lights.
Yeah, that's interesting. And it wasn't a Philips Hue branded stuff.
No, it wasn't. That's a bit there. Because I got this
That's
Philips,
weird.
I got this Philips light with the dimmer as well, and it's got the plus, minus, and all that.
Yeah.
And it read the instructions, couldn't get into pairing mode. It goes press the on and off together at the same time against the light when the light's on, and the light will start flashing. I go, oh yeah, okay, then did that? No, it worked. Oh, I'm in pairing mode. Then I was having a problem with the switch, and I did exactly the same thing with the switch, and it went into pairing mode. So don't know what there must be some secret Zigbee protocol that puts things into pairing mode through wirelessly.
Yeah, and well, so I mean, in this case, I guess SmartThings has no other way of like I don't think there's actually a pairing mode. I think it's you reset it and then it goes into pairing mode automatically, right? I think that's what it is. So what I'm thinking, my current theory. So hopefully my batteries arrive tomorrow morning. My current theory is it's been in pairing mode the entire time because once the thing died, so it died like maybe a week. No, maybe like 2 or 3 weeks ago now, and I've just been, traveling and whatever. So I haven't really had a chance to look at it. And so I'm thinking maybe it was just got stuck in pairing mode the entire time and all the batteries died. I don't know. So hopefully when my batteries come in, I can test this theory of mine and see what's going on.
And get the big hammer out.
Yeah. I think that's going to be step 2 if this doesn't work. So
no, it will work because it can see the big hammer.
Yeah, that's right. Then scare it into turning on. Yeah,
Yep.
No, it's So let's see how this goes. So I'm hoping all else has failed. So I'm like, okay, maybe let's try the basics like battery. And I bet you that probably will do something. So I'm hoping it does at least. So let's see.
I know the Xiaomi stuff can be very temperamental when it comes to batteries. If it doesn't have enough batteries in the, it'll just.
I got one of those little Bluetooth outside moisture things you plug into the garden pot.
Yep.
Got it all paired up with because I got a little ESP32 with Bluetooth, and that's my receivers because I put ESP Home on it. And the first one I must have only had it for about a month and couldn't register it. Why is that? Couldn't register. And I wonder if the battery's flat. So definitely ate the batteries. So my little outside thermometer one seems to be eating batteries. But hey, for the batteries only cost me $2, and I think I'm getting about 3.5 months use out of it.
That's not bad.
Yeah, considering it's pinging.
It's not bad. Yeah.
It's pinging the the light, the lumens, temperature, and moisture conductivity.
Yeah, so these are the Xiaomi Flower Care
That's it.
Bluetooth
Yeah,
flower indoor.
and they're pretty cool actually
monitors,
for the price. It was quite cool actually.
They're awesome.
Yeah, especially for the home automation. So I've just gone and bought a whole pile of just bought a little hot solenoid for turning the water on and off. So I've just got I've just ordered one of those on eBay for about $5 or $6.
Great.
So I've got that coming, and hopefully I can do one of these garden iterations. So I get Home Assistant to turn my
water the garden for you.
Yeah, water my garden for me and all that.
Yeah.
Or the Wi-Fi let me buy the automatic mower.
Yeah, no, they're a bit scary, I think.
That's I wanted one. You know what? For me, it's just I'm not letting me buy myself one of those. They're like $1,200. I don't know if it's the same one you're looking at, but they're not cheap. Like it is.
You can't quite justify it.
No, I actually, so my old mower died. I had a gas powered one. So I was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna get an electric one. I absolutely love it. It's not electric. It's like a battery powered one. I absolutely love it. And then I was like, and that one was not cheap. Like you think like a normal one costs like $200, $250, right? Maybe $300 if it's like super high end. This one was like $600. I was like, okay, I think I got it on sale for like $500. So it's still a bit of a splurge. And
because you got to buy the battery pack and all.
Yeah, well, it included the battery.
How long does the battery last you for?
I mean, it lasts me a whole mow from my backyard, which typically takes me about half hour to 45 minutes, depending on. I'm slow, so I'm sure people can do it faster. I usually have music in my ears or a podcast going or something like that, and walk in and. But yeah, so it's not too bad, and but it's like it's spending double that, and that was a bit of a splurge for me, and spending double that is no, I can't do it for an automatic one until the prices go down.
But then, how long do you say it takes you to do? 40 minutes?
45 minutes. It's not bad, and it gets me outside, so it's.
And your charge out rate for yourself is what, like $500 an hour? Like 2 mows, you pay for yourself, right?
I wish. No, you know what? Weirdly, it's funny because this year I didn't mow a whole lot. My girlfriend decided she likes like it's good thinking time or it's good breathing time. You're outside, it's bright out. So and summertime, so you want to take in all the sun you can. So. She actually really enjoys doing it, which is great for me because I don't.
Well, you have automated it then.
That's right. To some extent, just don't tell her that.
Ooh.
Shots fired.
Someone's going to be in a dog box tonight.
Yeah, that's right. Thanks, Phil. I appreciate that one. But yeah, so yeah, I mean, I Good for you. I mean, if you can convince yourself to get one, Stephan, I can't do it.
I can't justify it. I just can't justify it. I love it, but I just can't justify it.
Yeah. All right. Well, I mean, I think Stephan. I mean, if you've got anything else,
no, I'm a happy camper. I'm loving Home Assistant. It's just to me, it's like what Paul has done. He's really gone and sort of kept it open. As long as you obey the rules, and I think that's the hardest part. I think just communicate. Just reading stuff in the forum, people they're not thinking outside the square enough.
Yeah.
Not mean to not be mean to them, but because I will. I mean, I've been doing for home automation for so long.
Well, it's at different levels for different things, and everything's kind of got its place, right? So.
And that's where I think Home Assistant, the community really comes in and can show people, well, why don't you do it this way?
Yeah.
Or because there's a million ways you could do anything.
Of course.
And I think, and what's something that Home Assistant has done really well is being able to foster that community and keeping everyone friendly, and everyone's just happy to help everyone out. So yeah, and it's particularly like you, Stephan, getting on the forums and helping people out where you can as well. So I think, all around it's awesome.
Oh, definitely. I mean, it's like that. It's like the bed pressure map. I mean, there was in the forum, I know guys were doing it through weight sensors and
Yeah.
all that. Yeah, and it was costing like nearly $150, $200 for me to buy. And I was going, oh, I can't justify that. Yeah, so it was sort of just hunting around and finding a different way to skin the cat.
Yeah, no, that's great. This is fantastic. So, well, thanks so much for joining us. I think we've had some really good discussion, and I appreciate it. So,
cool.
And thanks everyone for listening.
We'll leave links to that Amazon page where you can get that pressure mat too. That's a really good link.
Yeah, no, I like that.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Cheers. If you want to share your Home Assistant journey or come on as a guest, reach out to us at feedback@hasspodcast.io. That's HASS podcast.io.
The Home Assistant podcast is hosted by Phil Hawthorne and myself, Rohan Karamandi. For links to topics that we discussed today, check out our show notes on hasspodcast.io.